Diversity is about disagreements. There's a great line, diversity is not rocket science, it's harder. Because if you're engaging people with whom you have differences that you don't like, that you have disagreements, you got to figure out how you're going to engage those people. Does the fact of that disagreement, voting differently in a particular election, disagreeing on fundamental issues, right? Immigration policy, for example, abortion, does that disagreement cancel any chance of a relationship? If it does, we don't have a civil society anymore, right? How do you have PTAs or little leagues or hospitals? That's what a diverse civil society is about. The ability to disagree on some fundamental things and still work together on other fundamental things. That doesn't mean that you bracket your disagreement forever. Part of the beauty of working together on other fundamental things is the ability to build a relationship on something that matters, such that you might be able to broach that disagreement with a different tone. But if we allow some disagreements to cancel any possibility of a relationship, we're in real trouble as a society. Now, of course, there are limits, right? I am happy to engage just about everybody in the United States of America in a conversation, or to be part of an athletic league with them, or to be on the PTA with them, but I'm not buying a brownie from the KKK bake sale. There are limits, but I think that in a diverse civil society, when we recognize that diversity is not just the differences we like, those limits are not the person who voted differently from you in the last election. Those limits are the true barbarians. And the way the great political philosopher defined the term barbarian is the person who destroys the conversation. Civilization means people from different backgrounds living together and talking together. The barbarian is the person who destroys the conversation. I think that person is beyond the circle of civil discourse. Anybody else I'm engaging with.
I think he said so much that was important. That Constance, what did you think about that? What did you think about his take on that? And is that something that you can use in your life?
Of course, yeah. Listen, I think diversity in thought is very important, and I'm grateful that I have diverse people with diverse thinking. But I'm also grateful that I don't got stupid people that are around me. So there's a difference between diversity and stupid. And so if you're a MAGA supporter, you're stupid, in my opinion. You could be a Republican, but to be that type of like extremist is stupid. And somebody said something like, well, what would you say about Black Lives Matter? I don't know. I mean, I didn't get into all the Black Lives Matter rhetoric when I guess there was some money or whatever. But in terms of Black Lives Matter, what that means to me is that our lives matter too. So I don't know anything else about that, but I do believe that it's important to note that our lives matter. When you talk about Trump and you see what he says about, I want to give reparations to white people who've been harmed because of diversity and inclusion. That kind of bullshit is what is idiotic and stupid. And so for you guys to say, and then people have told me that's not what he said. Okay, I heard it out of his own mouth. So, you guys twist his words. I want to give restitution to people who've been harmed by equity. What am I misconstruing about that? It's that kind of idiotic dialogue that I just refrain from. And so those are the people that they just can't. I'm not dialoguing with you because you're dumb. But anybody else, if you're conservative, of course I have conservative ideals. I have some liberal ideals. I believe that the Democratic Party has just embraced every things. My mom does say, one thing she says is the Democrats got the morals of an alley cat. I think, she's right in some ways, right? Because they just accept anything. So there are some conservative policies that I agree with. But, it's like you just kind of take a little bit out of a little bit. But it's just like, if to me, if you're Trump, it's just, it's Tea Party. It's extremist.